In less than 2 weeks, Texas lawmakers will be gaveling into a special session, but the agenda still hasn't been set by the governor. This is Tuesday, July 8th, 2025.
Texas Scorecard presents the day's first news for the Lone Star State, the Texas Minute, with your host, Michael Quinn Sullivan.
Welcome into Tuesday. Thanks for spending part of it with the Texas Minute. The tragic horror of the holiday weekend has impacted thousands of Texans, but it's been met head-on by the selfless heroism and kindness of professionals and volunteers alike. Let us thank God that such people exist even as we pray for those families mourning their losses. Let's jump into the news. And we'll start with that catastrophic Central Texas flooding. More than 100 people are known to be dead and dozens more are missing, according to state officials. It began with a series of intense storms that dumped up to a foot of rain in parts of the hill country early Friday morning and continued through the weekend. The Guadalupe River surged 26 feet in just 45 minutes, tearing through communities with little warning. Residents described a pitch-black wall of water that swept vehicles and homes from their foundations and through the valley with shocking force. The worst destruction is centered in Kerr County, about 65 miles northwest of San Antonio. There, flash floods along the Guadalupe River devastated riverside areas, including the historic Camp Mystic Youth Summer Camp. Dramatic scenes unfolded across the hill country as first responders in boats and helicopters saved stranded residents. In Hunt, volunteer rescuers aided in nighttime searches by morning formal teams had scoured the river near Camp Mystic for signs of the missing. Even after floodwaters receded, much of Central Texas remained hazardous. As of Monday, dozens of roads and low-water crossings in Travis, Williamson, Hayes, Bastrop, and Caldwell counties, as well as Lee and Fayette counties, were still closed due to high water or structural damage. A federal disaster declaration for Kerr County was approved by President Trump on Sunday, allowing FEMA to assist with recovery. The president said he's considering a visit to the region this Friday, pending coordination with local officials. Texas schools are preparing to implement a new law regulating the use of cell phones in classrooms. Authored by Republican State Representative Carolyn Fairley of Amarillo, the new law requires school boards to implement a ban on personal devices used by students while on school campuses. In presenting the legislation this spring, Fairley emphasized the need to prevent disruptions in classrooms. Under the law, school districts are given wide discretion in implementing the prohibition in their schools. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has announced the state will continue to defend a 2023 immigration enforcement law that was recently blocked by a federal appeals court. A 3-judge appeals court panel issued a ruling last week that keeps that law on hold. Judge Priscilla Richmond argued in the 2-1 ruling that the law's provisions deputizing law enforcement to arrest suspected illegals and authorizing state judges to order illegals to be returned to the border directly conflicted with federal law. The lawsuit was first brought against the state during the Biden administration, and President Donald Trump has sought to drop it after taking office. However, a coalition of left-wing interest groups in El Paso County kept the lawsuit going. Now, speaking of the border, yesterday morning, a man waiting outside the entrance of the U.S. Border Patrol's McAllen office opened fire on agents. Local law enforcement officials were on the scene and able to quickly return fire. The gunman was killed. 2 police officers and a Border Patrol agent were injured. The Texas Minute will be right back.
Do you feel increasingly isolated? Like the world has gone insane and you are part of one small, clear-headed remnant? Let me be the first to tell you, you're not alone. I'm Sarah Gonzalez, and on my new show, Come and Take It, I'm going to call out the crazy so you can be empowered to change Texas and the nation. Overcome the schemes of the left designed to keep Texans paralyzed and silent. Watch or listen to Come and Take It today.
With less than 2 weeks remaining until lawmakers return to Austin, Governor Greg Abbott has yet to announce what issues will be on the agenda for the upcoming special legislative session. This is leaving lawmakers and observers in somewhat of a holding pattern. The governor has teased the possibility of regulations on THC sales and a ban on taxpayer-funded lobbying. Others have suggested that congressional redistricting could be taken up, while the Texas GOP wants the rest of its legislative agenda accomplished. Until the governor releases the official agenda, lawmakers are unable to file legislation, even on those widely speculated topics. You can find details on all the stories mentioned today and keep up with the latest news by visiting TexasScorecard.com. This edition of the Texas Minute was based on the original reporting of Joseph Trimmer, Mikhail Kerwin, Luca Cacciatore, and Brandon Waltons. It was produced by Nick Shepard. I look forward to seeing you out around the Lone Star State. Have a great day.